Get ready for the dictation. Start. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we are happy to debate this important subject once more. As you know, the defense debate should necessarily concern all of us and it should be based on a national consensus. It is not a one party business or a one man show. It concerns the entire nation, its security and liberty, as without a strong country, everything else has no meaning. Therefore, all valid viewpoints expressed must be taken into account in evolving such a policy. We have been warned about various threats as evident in this report of the Defense Ministry, and my only criticism, if at all, I should say, is that a time has come when this nation expects that those threats and our counter postures to meet those threats must be spelled out more wisely. By this, I mean that one who studies this report, unless one has access to various other documents available in abundance elsewhere, one cannot arrive at a position as to what exactly we are trying to do in order to meet the so called threat, which I certainly assert there is. I think a time has come when the country should be taken into confidence, when the members of parliament should be taken into confidence as to what exactly we mean and what exactly we are going to do, and a slightly better understanding should be reflected by the defense ministry towards this point. Para. I certainly do not wish that classified items are to be made available. They are certainly the prerogative of the administration to keep, but they should give us, at least in general terms, what we are expected to know. Nearly 55% of the last year's defense budget was spent on the rise in the cost of petroleum articles, oil, fuels, lubricants, and the rise in pay scales, pensions, and allowances, etc. It hardly left for the entire defense budget a balance of 40%, which goes to make the real hard punch. And so it remains this year also. This position has to be rectified in the coming months, and that is a cause for concern. I have the greatest regard for the Honorable Defense Minister, and I know that he is a man of action and that he will take this point into account so that our defenses do not lack the punch that we want to have. Para. The threats, as spelled out in the report of the ministry, are mainly from the north and west, and as far as they go, they are right. As far as the threat from the west is concerned, it is more positive. I do not foresee anything to come out of that cold state in the north. But if you look at the west, the defense budget of Pakistan has increased by 25% in the last year. From 1981, they have increased their budget 50%. They have raised 3 infantry divisions and 1 armored division. Not only that, they say that Pakistan will settle outstanding differences with India from a position of strength. We, on the other hand, have the same commitments as we had before 1971. That should be an indication to those who understand this matter that our commitments remain the same. Our ratio of forces on the western sector necessarily has not improved as one would like them to do. Together with this, the leadership of Pakistan is known for diverting the attention of their people from the various troubles that they have inside their country and creating tensions along the western border which concern us. We have had the sad experience of having three major wars in the last 4 years. The increase in the Air Force of Pakistan has also to be noted. It is no good just not giving any importance to the idea that they do not have an industrial base and therefore it does not constitute any threat to us. I beg to remind the House that initially and basically they and we are from the same race, from the same stock, possessing the same skill and the same resourcefulness. So, one should not underestimate the capacity that they have for doing all this. I wish to say in all humility that specially attention must be paid towards this. They are now getting in the pipeline perhaps some more missiles and more anti tank weapons and aircrafts which give them a qualitative edge over us. Now, the other factor that needs to be taken into account is China's own way of thinking. Compelled by its own national security angels, it has left its old narrow position and has now gone into a lot of technical and technological cooperation with the Western countries. So, there should be no doubt that when production starts flowing out of China in this new generation of armaments, it will certainly flow into the pipeline to Pakistan. All these factors should be taken into account by the Ministry of Defense. Stop.